For over 2 decades, Sarah Jenkins had been a shining star in our community. Her tireless efforts to make a difference earned her the respect and admiration of everyone who knew her. She was the face of hope, kindness, and compassion in times of need. From volunteering at local charities like the Food Bank and Women's Shelter, to mentoring at-risk youth through programs like Big Brothers Big Sisters, Sarah's selflessness inspired countless people. As a public figure, she ran for city council on a platform of transparency and accountability, vowing to make our community safer and more equitable for all. Many of us believed her words, drawn in by her charisma and sincerity. She was the embodiment of what we wanted to be, good Samaritans who put others before ourselves. But beneath this facade of virtue lay a complex web of deceit. It started innocently enough, a series of small misrepresentations that Sarah made to protect herself or those close to her. But over time, these white lies multiplied and morphed into full-blown fabrications. She became adept at creating parallel universes, where facts were manipulated and distortions were perpetuated. It's estimated that she fabricated over 300 instances of community service, claiming to have worked with organizations like the Red Cross and Habitat for Humanity when in fact she had done no such work. Those who dared question her claims were met with a deflection of blame or even outright aggression. The truth was hidden behind an imposing edifice of lies, built on a foundation of carefully crafted deceptions. Despite our initial shock and disappointment, the revelations that followed were nothing short of astonishing. What had seemed like minor discrepancies now added up to something much more sinister, a carefully constructed narrative designed to manipulate public opinion and maintain her grip on power. For over 2 decades, Sarah Jenkins had been the undisputed queen of our community's social scene. Her kind smile and warm demeanor made her a beloved fixture at local charity events, where she would often be seen serving food to the homeless or donating thousands of dollars to worthy causes. It wasn't uncommon for Sarah to arrive at these events in a chauffeur-driven limousine, leaving some to wonder about the source of her wealth. Despite her lavish lifestyle, Sarah's public image was one of humility and selflessness. She had a way of making everyone feel like they were the most important person in the room, whether it was a single mother struggling to make ends meet or a prominent businessman trying to make a name for himself. Her charisma and magnetism drew people from all walks of life, and she became the go-to leader for any community initiative that needed support. It wasn't until Sarah's surprise announcement that she would be running for mayor on a platform of transparency and accountability that many began to take notice of her own checkered past. Despite having been in public service for over 20 years, there was surprisingly little information available about Sarah's personal life or business dealings outside of the community. The media were abuzz with questions about her background, but Sarah's campaign team had a ready answer. She was a private person who didn't feel obligated to share every detail of her life. But rumors persisted. Whispers began circulating about Sarah's connections to several high-profile businessmen who had been accused of embezzlement and money laundering. Some even claimed that Sarah's own business, which had made her a small fortune, was built on shady dealings and underhanded tactics. As the campaign heated up, these allegations only seemed to fuel Sarah's rise to prominence. As the years went by, Sarah's reputation as a selfless community leader only continued to grow. She was often featured in local newspapers and magazines, her name synonymous with generosity and compassion. But beneath the surface, something peculiar began to emerge. Whispers of impropriety started circulating among those who knew her best, whispers that would eventually snowball into a full-blown scandal. It began with small inconsistencies, Sarah's frequent absences from volunteer events, her sudden changes in schedule without explanation, and an unshakable sense of evasiveness whenever questioned about her whereabouts. At first, these incidents were dismissed as mere misunderstandings or the result of overcommitting herself. But as they continued to pile up, it became increasingly clear that something was amiss. Further investigation revealed a tangled web of deceit. Bank statements showed large withdrawals from Sarah's personal account, yet she claimed to be living modestly off her teaching salary. Phone records revealed a pattern of clandestine calls with unknown numbers, conversations often lasting late into the night. And then there were the discrepancies in her campaign finance reports, unexplained donations and expenditures that seemed to fuel speculation about hidden agendas. A close examination of Sarah's public speeches and social media posts exposed a calculated strategy of manipulation. Her language was carefully crafted to evoke an emotional response from the audience, often at odds with the facts she presented. It was as if she had developed an uncanny ability to weave together disparate narratives, rendering it increasingly difficult for anyone to discern truth from fiction. As this narrative thread began to unravel, so too did the carefully constructed facade of Sarah Jenkins' idealized persona. The beacon of hope and kindness that had once shone brightly in our community was revealed to be a cleverly crafted illusion, one that had been expertly sustained through a combination of charm, persuasion, and calculated deception. As we delve deeper into the life of Sarah Jenkins, a disturbing pattern begins to emerge. Beneath her polished facade, a complex web of deceit and manipulation was unfolding. It's estimated that over $100,000 in charitable donations were diverted from local organizations she claimed to support. This staggering amount is not only a financial betrayal but also a profound breach of trust among those who looked up to her. Further investigation revealed that Sarah had been using her position as a mentor to build relationships with vulnerable individuals, many of whom were struggling with addiction or trauma. She would often attend community events and offer words of encouragement, only to exploit these relationships for personal gain. In some cases, she even used her influence to secure exclusive business deals, further enriching herself at the expense of others. The most damning evidence, however, came in the form of secretly recorded conversations between Sarah and a close associate. These recordings revealed a calculating individual, coldly discussing how to cover up her tracks and silence anyone who might expose her deceit. The sheer audacity of her actions is all the more astonishing given that she had built her reputation on principles of transparency and accountability. As we navigate this treacherous landscape, it's essential to consider the broader implications of Sarah's double life. How many other community leaders are hiding behind a mask of virtue, using their position to exploit those in need? What are the consequences for individuals who have been misled by her false promises and charitable efforts? And what can be done to prevent such scandals from happening again, ensuring that our communities remain safe havens for genuine growth and support? As the investigation into Sarah Jenkins' double life continued to unfold, a shocking revelation came to light. A former employee at one of the charities she founded, Rachel Patel, stepped forward with disturbing allegations. According to Patel, Jenkins would often redirect funds meant for community programs into her own bank account, claiming it was for unforeseen expenses. However, a review of the charity's financial records revealed discrepancies totaling over $100,000. Further investigation by our team uncovered a pattern of deceit that spanned years. It appeared that Jenkins had been embezzling funds from multiple charities and organizations, using them to finance her own lavish lifestyle. The more we dug, the more it seemed that Jenkins' altruistic persona was just a carefully crafted facade. We discovered a string of high-end purchases, including a $250,000 mansion in an upscale neighborhood, a collection of designer handbags worth over $50,000, and even a private jet. But what's most astonishing is that this level of corruption had been hidden in plain sight for so long. Jenkins' reputation as a community leader and philanthropist had been built on a foundation of lies. Her public image was one of kindness and compassion, but behind the scenes, she was manipulating and exploiting those around her to fuel her own greed. The more we learned about Jenkins' deceitful activities, the more questions arose about how this could have gone unchecked for so long. Were there others who knew about her embezzlement? And what role did her high-profile connections play in protecting her reputation? As we continue to unravel the threads of deception surrounding Sarah Jenkins, one thing becomes increasingly clear: nothing is as it seems when you dig beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic community leader. As we peel back the layers of Sarah Jenkins' carefully constructed facade, it's clear that her double life was built on a foundation of deception. Behind the mask of kindness and generosity, she was secretly embezzling funds from local